Hello everybody, welcome back to my studio. So today we're going to be talking about how to make Chopin sing. And I'm going to be using his Opus 10 number 3 Etude in E major as an example to show you how to make better lyrical lines in doing this. So three things I'm going to go into that will help you to do this. One, I'm going to be talking about some technical things that you can take away from this video. Second thing, I'm going to be looking at a couple of concert pianists that you can listen to that might further inspire you to make better lyrical lines in this piece. And then finally, going to the opera. Yes, going to the opera. So we're going to basically change it up a little bit here, and then that will also inspire you to make better singing lines. I guarantee it. All right, so let's take a look at some technical things of this piece that can help you to make better singing lines. All right, so first we're starting off here, and we're going to talk a little bit about dynamic shading. In other words, each melody right here is working towards, if you look at the first four measures, it's working up towards the C sharp. So when we're going up to the C sharp, the notes, the melody, which generally happens in your fourth and fifth finger, needs to not be as loud as that top. So you're working towards that C sharp in that first full measure, measure 3. So you need to make sure the dynamics of the melody line prior to that is actually going to be working towards that. So that's going to be your high point. So if I play it, you'll hear it. So you can see what I did there. The C sharp was where I was working towards. You have to have direction. What happens is, what is the trouble is that we sometimes make the melody line that there's no differences in dynamics with each individual melody that's happening, each individual note that's happening, a part of that melody, that phrase. So if you make it all the same dynamic range, it's not going to make any sense. It's not going to have any direction. So a part of that singing line, to make it sing better, it has to have direction. Second thing, pacing. Now there's an acroustis here at the beginning that always gives me problems. Like, how am I going to start this off? And for all of you that do play a lot, you understand how difficult this is. Like, how am I going to start this? So usually I have a breath, just like a singer would, starting this off. And either I might actually, for this piece, I might go either slower on the anacrusis before the downbeat. Sometimes I go faster. It just depends, how I'm feeling for that, day. So when I do this, pacing it out also goes to that singing line, right? So here's how I would play it if I was going to play it a little bit slower. And you're going to tell that there's a different mood when I actually do play it slower as opposed to me just going into it. Kind of gives a different mood. Now, sometimes, there's no right or wrong answer to that. Remember, it's all about, and I'll get to this in further videos, and you'll find that it's all about how you feel, how you want to express it. Yes, it has to be in time, but generally it's how you feel at that moment. So you can start that off faster if you want to. And I'm thinking about it, okay, I just want to get into the piece. Both answers to that are correct. Again, going back to that F sharp dominant, we look at pacing there too. We want to hold back. And even Chopin writes a retard right there. And for a singer, they're probably building up to get to that tonic. So they're trying to get back to E major. So you need to bring that out. That's very important. So I'll pull back there substantially while weighting my fourth and fifth finger on the top. So I might hold back here. And let it breathe. It's such a beautiful sequence of chords that he puts right there. So that, again, especially for this particular piece, it's use it as best as which you feel. Sometimes I might go faster, again, like the Anacrusis. I might actually go faster in that part. I might push ahead, might push to the top, and then just take it right down. That you can hold back, but experiment with that. That will help you. So the next thing I want to talk about is a couple of concert pianists I like to inspire me to make better singing lines. And you can use that for this piece in particular. So the first concert pianist is Arthur Rubinstein. Arthur Rubinstein was born in 1887 in Łódź, Poland. Probably one of the best interpreters of Chopin. He literally played almost everything, I believe, that Chopin wrote. One of the things that distinguishes him from a lot of pianists is that he has a very warm sound. So I would encourage to listen to him a lot. The second pianist is Emil Gilels. Emil Gilels was born in 1916 in Odessa. Emil Gilels has a wonderful way of bringing out those lyrical lines too. And he was known for that type of golden sound that he would project out to an audience. So he's another person, and I believe he also did the piano concerto, the Chopin Piano Concerto No. 1. Particularly the second movement is a great movement to listen to see how he uses those lyrical lines. Both those concert pianists are great to listen to, and they will inspire you to make better lyrical lines, particularly in this piece. Finally, the last thing you can do to help you with the lyrical lines in this piece is going to the opera. So Vladimir Horowitz was asked one time how he interpreted Rachmaninoff's music. And the way that he responded to that was he went to go see the Russian opera. And it makes a lot of sense because in Rachmaninoff's music, there are so many lyrical lines happening. You could even say, hey, there's an aria happening here. Hey, there's a duet going on in this piece right now. And one of the good ways of doing that is going to see the opera and watching arias and duets and how those are paced. And that will help you to improve those singing lines. Chopin was very much inspired by Bellini, and he was known for these long lyrical lines in his operas. And comparatively, Chopin wrote a lot of those lyrical lines, those long lyrical lines that you can make better. Just listening to both Bellini's music, it was going to help with that tremendously. And going to see the opera is the way to do that. So again, taking a look at Chopin's Opus 10 No. 3, Etude in E major, look at those three things. Technically, what I showed you. Second, look at some of the concert pianists I mentioned. Listen to their interpretations of Chopin in particular. And going to see the opera, giving yourself a chance to do that. Those three things will help you in interpreting this piece better with better singing lines. Thank you again all for joining me at my studio. Stay tuned for another video next week. In the description box, I put a couple of links to some music with those concert pianists I spoke about earlier. Use those to help you to interpret this Opus 10 No. 3 Etude in E major. And we'll see you next time.